What is going on, everybody? My name is Nathan, or ELEMENTofFROST, and I'm back here again to bring you guys my episode prediction video for this week's episode of The Walking Dead, Season 4, Episode 13, Alone. Alright guys, so as you guys know, it's obviously Thursday, March the 6th, and every single Thursday I do my prediction video for the upcoming episode of The Walking Dead. And this Sunday, man, I cannot wait. So, as always, I just want to warn you guys real quickly that this might contain spoilers for previous episodes. You know, I have to make predictions, you know, basing my opinions and predictions on things that happened previously. So just be aware of that. Just don't watch this video if you haven't watched The Walking Dead yet. Any episode of The Walking Dead before, or, you know, basically Season 4 is what I'm basically saying. So if you haven't watched Season 4 or the last episode or whatever, just don't watch this video. Watch the episode, then come back and get ready for the next episode. So, predictions for this episode obviously go as follows, but before I get into that, I just wanted to real quickly go over the synopsis for the episode, and here it is. Alright, so on AMC.com it says, as one group finds what may be an ideal shelter, another group comes to realize that the best protection comes from those around them. Okay, so, sneak peeks and promos. So there is actually only one sneak peek, I believe, this time around. I don't know why there's only one sneak peek, but there's only one sneak peek. Whatever aired on Talking Dead also aired on the AMC website, so I apologize for that. You know, obviously not really my fault, but kind of sucks they didn't release two sneak peeks with this episode, so probably something cool or big's going to happen in this episode. I'm guessing actually a character death is going to happen. Being by the title Alone, anything could really happen, you know? Okay, so there's two groups, basically, that are going to be in this episode, according to the sneak peeks and the promos. So the first group is going to be Maggie, Sasha, and Bob Stookie. So obviously, the last time we seen them, they were clearing up the prison bus that they found on the side of the road. Obviously, Maggie wanted to find out if Glenn was in there, you know, if he was dead or not. But obviously he wasn't. And yeah, that's the last time we've seen their group. So I really hope to find their group a little more interesting and maybe a little more developed this episode. I really hope to find that. So as far as the other group goes, it's going to be Daryl and Beth, along with, like, just what happened last week's episode. It's going to be Daryl and Beth. But this time combined with Maggie, Sasha, and Bob Stookie. Now, in my opinion, they're keeping Bob Stookie around for a little too long. I definitely think he should have died in the prison assault by the governor. He's not really a very interesting character, if you guys know what I mean. You know, obviously he's a drunk. He's just kind of an annoying character, you know. As lots of people kind of hate him now because he threatened basically to shoot Daryl if, you know, Daryl threw the bottle of whiskey off the roof and everything like that. Everybody just doesn't like him. I don't like him, at least. Well, I mean, he's not bad. It's not because of the Daryl thing. He just doesn't have enough character development in there to make him an interesting character. Like, even Beth, I like now. Like, Beth before I just thought was kind of like a useless character that kind of took care of the baby. But now I can see they're kind of going somewhere with her now. And honestly, she might die as well now that they're, quote, going somewhere with her. As you guys know, every time there's like a centric episode of somebody, they usually die within the next few episodes. Same thing with Herschel. Obviously, episode 5, Interment, he had that big episode where he was basically the main cast member starring in that episode. You know, he was taking care of Glenn, all the sick prisoners inside the cell blocks and everything like that. He just basically had his own centric episode around Herschel. And what happened next to Herschel? He got his head cut off by the governor. I mean, it doesn't really get any more real than that. So every time there's really a centric episode for someone, they usually die off. Last week's episode, obviously still, that was on Daryl and Beth, but it was honestly mostly about Beth, because it was Daryl's reactions to things is only when we got to really see Daryl, when we really got to see him perform. But Beth, last week, was just amazing acting all the way through that episode, and she kind of just had her own centric episode. So yeah, I do think there's two possibilities in this upcoming episode. It's either going to be Bob Stookie, which I honestly believe it's going to be him, because it's about time they just, you know, cut him off the show. He's a great actor. He's a good actor. But it's just, you know, he's not an interesting character. They're not giving him enough showtime. Obviously, they're not doing much to make him a hero by saving any one of our main cast members or anything like that. I think we're going to see a lot of them in this upcoming episode, but I think that's going to be about it. He's either going to die at the end, or maybe he'll die next episode, something around those lines. Because he was a character in the comic books, but he did work for the governor in the comic books. He didn't last too long, I'll tell you that much. So, anyways, moving on to Daryl and Beth now. What I think's going to happen with them? I think they're kind of be maybe trying to seek refuge somewhere, trying to maybe track people down. You know, things like this. Maybe they run into a herd because we see Daryl running away in one of the promos. By the way, the promo and the sneak peek link are in the description. This time I'm going to make sure they're in the damn description because I keep forgetting to put in there every week. So, yeah. Anyway, Daryl and Beth, I think they're going to be trying to seek refuge, track down their friends. I know, obviously, the synopsis, it says, another group comes to realize that the best protection comes from those around them. So, I'm honestly thinking that's probably Daryl and Beth, being because they're kind of alone, in a sense. Like, the episode title, they're kind of alone. And, you know, Daryl's always, like, being badass, like, we're fine, we're never going to find them. And then, you know, maybe they come in an encounter or something with one of their group members or somebody else and they save them. I don't know. Something might happen like that. Or, like I said, that could actually happen to Bob Stookie, Bob Stookie, Maggie, and Sasha. That could happen to them as well instead of Daryl and Beth. Obviously, best protection comes from around them. So, we never really know what's going to happen. I don't think we're going to see Abraham, Ford, Glenn, Rosita, Eugene, Tara, anybody like that in this episode. I don't think we're going to see Rick. Rick's definitely going to be in next episode, though, because they can't keep him away for too long. That'll just pull viewers away from the show. I honestly think they're experimenting right now with the whole Rick not being in the show very much right now. I think they're kind of experimenting because, you know, they want to find out how The Walking Dead would do without Rick Grimes, without Andrew Lincoln performing. And it's honestly doing pretty damn well. But Rick Grimes is obviously the most interesting, badass character in the show, obviously alongside Daryl. If we're talking about straight survival, that would be Daryl. If we're talking about just, you know, badass plus kind of an emotional side of things, that would have to be Rick. Just because I don't know, he's just so damn good at it, I guess. But anyway, I hope this episode's going to be really, really good. I think it will be, as always. You know, every fucking episode of The Walking Dead is always mint condition, brand spanking new content, and it's always just, it's great all the way along, and I cannot wait for this Sunday. So, there's not many more predictions I can make other than the fact that, obviously, you know, it's going to be about Daryl and Beth, with Maggie, Bob Stookie, and Sasha in the show as well. It's going to be divided into two groups, probably maybe half and half, or, you know, maybe Daryl and Beth, commercial break, Maggie, you know, just going like that kind of repeatedly, like a checkerboard style type episode where they're just kind of going back and forth. But yeah, I do think it's going to be an interesting episode. I really hope to see Rick Grimes and Carl maybe next episode, or maybe we'll see him at the end of this episode. You know, who knows? So yeah, as far as this episode goes, I do think it's going to be a great episode, seeing as though obviously last week's episode was really, really good with just Daryl and Beth, and this week's episode obviously including Maggie's little group off in the woods. And the sneak peek is actually of them kind of in the fog, which I kind of find interesting. We haven't really seen much fog in The Walking Dead before, and it gives us like this eerie, creepy-ass feeling that, you know, a zombie or a walker could come at you really at any time without you seeing it because there's a bunch of fog in front of you. In the sneak peek, they're kind of back-to-back, all three of them, Maggie, Bob Stookie, and Sasha. I keep saying I want to say Tyrese. It's probably because I want to see Tyrese already with the baby. But anyways, yeah, they're kind of all back-to-back, and they're kind of fighting off walkers in the fog. A walker comes towards Maggie. She stabs in the head, you know, stuff like that. It just looks really, really interesting next week. I do believe Bob's going to die. Like I said, it's about time they cut him off the show. Either that or Beth. You know, they could both die. Hey, who knows? But I honestly don't see them killing off Beth just yet, because there's still a lot more character development to go through. because they started last week, and I just don't see them like starting really big character development and then cutting her off the show the next week. Obviously, with Herschel, that happened, but there was not really any character development inside of episode 5 internment before he got cut off the show, before he got his head cut off. There wasn't really much character development. We'd obviously seen a little bit of an emotional side to Herschel, but we obviously seen him through season 2 and 3, as we did Beth, but, you know, all we really learned about Beth is that she's kind of a little bit suicidal. She's depressed a little bit, and then she gets into this sort of starting of a survivalist at the start of season 3, and then kind of takes a back seat and looks after Judith when she's born. And now we're kind of really getting to see her in her prime, I guess is what you could say. Because obviously before, in season 4, as well, before the mid-season break, when they killed Herschel, we really didn't see much of her in the prison, other than, you know, taking care of Judith, maybe wrapping up Michonne's ankle, singing, just doing kind of pointless stuff with her character. And now we get to see something interesting now that they're out of the prison and now that they're on the road surviving. So, hopefully you guys did enjoy this prediction video of The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 13, Alone. I do believe it's going to be a really cool episode. Like I said on my last video, Episode 13 of The Walking Dead has always been kind of good to us. Season 2, Episode 13, that was obviously the season finale of Season 2 when the barn, when Herschel's farm got attacked, they had to run away. And, you know, they stayed kind of in the barracks, having that fire, and kind of looking up towards the prison. Season 3, Episode 13, not as interesting, but still kind of interesting because we've seen the governor and Rick kind of meet for the first time, sit down, have a conversation, try to work something out so they didn't go to war. And obviously we'll see this week's episode 13 Alone, and I do think it's going to be really cool. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the wow, voice crack. Woo! That was bad. Alright, I thought I was 18, not 4. Not 4. 14. So yeah, anyways, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode prediction video for The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 13 Alone. This week's obviously upcoming episode on Sunday I cannot wait for, and obviously I will be doing my episode review video of The Walking Dead Season 4 Episode 13 Alone this coming Monday, March the 10th, and I will definitely do that right in the early morning so I can get it uploaded for you guys as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit it with a like, share it around with your friends, comment in the section below whether you agree with me, what's going to happen in Sunday's episode. And obviously comment as well telling me what you guys think is going to happen. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said before so many times in this last little bit of the commentary. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Alright guys, bye.